Welcome, listeners. We have been studying Bhagavad Gita. So far, we have completed the study of 5 chapters of the Bhagavad Gita. In this episode, we shall take up the 6th chapter, named as Dhyana Yoga. The first sloka, Sri Krishna suggests to Arjuna that no person should discard action. Each has a duty and it has to be well executed. The first verse, Sri Bhagavan Uvacha Anasritah karma phalam karyam karma karoti yaha sa samyasi cha yogi cha na niragnirna chakriyaha. Anasritah karma phalam, not depending on the fruits of action. Karyam karma karoti yaha, who performs his bounden duty. Saha he, samnyasi cha yogi cha, he is a sannyasi as well as yogi. But naniragnirna chakriyaha, not without fire, without action. Means simply relinquishing the activity, the external ritual of fire making, and keeping himself actionless. He cannot be called as a sannyasi or a yogi. So, he who discharges his duty without seeking its fruits, he is the sannyasi. He is the yogi, not who is without sacred fire and without action. So, as you know, the Bhagavad Gita gives very practical ideas. It is the true source of strength. As I have been telling you, it is the essence of the Upanishads, unique and sublime in its thoughts. Many people think, a sannyasi is one who keeps away from actions, and such a person is a yogi. Bhagavad Gita does not support that view. Then in the second verse, what is the relationship between karma samnyasa and karma yoga? The explanation comes here. Yam samnyasamiti prahuhu yogam tam vidhi pandava nahya sanyasta sankalpo yogi bhavati kaschana. Yam, which samnyasan iti prahuhu, called as a samnyasa, yogam tam vidhi pandava, yogam tam vidhi, know it as yoga. Oh, Pandava, means he is addressing Arjuna as Pandava. Asamnyasta sankalpaha, who has not renounced the selfish desires, na yogi bhavati kaschana, none becomes yogi, he cannot become a yogi. None becomes yogi without renouncing sankalpa. Sankalpa is the selfish motive behind action. It is actuated by wasteful desires. So do not become slave to sankalpa. Sankalpa leads to varied activities. So sankalpa pulls us hither and thither. Human being is not contented by running after things. Discontentment leads to unhappiness. So, you cannot become a yogi without control over sankalpas. Nahya samyasta sankalpo yogi bhavati kaschana. We have to understand that desire is not quenched by desire. It only creates new desires. Now, how samnyasa or yoga can be augmented? It is explained as follows. Arurukshor munir yogam karma karanamuchyate yoga rudhasya tasyaiva samah karanamuchyate. Arurukshe means wishing to climb, means one who is striving to be yogi. Arurukshe mune, who wishes to climb the ladder to become a muni. Yogam karma karanamuchyate. Karma yoga is said to be the means. Karma karanamuchyate. It is the cause, it is the means to become a karma. Yoga rudhasya tasyaiva. For who has achieved yoga already, who has risen to the level of yoga, samah karana muchyate. Cessation of effort is the means. So Lord Krishna explains in two stages. The first stage is when you start to become a yogi, you have to work hard. The second stage, once you become yogi, you do not need anything to do. Means all work ceases. Mind does not go out at all. Sri Ramana Maharshi, Sri Ramakrishna Paramahamsa are shining examples. They are absolutely free. They are full of compassion. So in order to become yoga rudha, you have to become a karma yogi. The next sloka explains the nature of yoga rudha, the signs of the yogi who is established in yoga. Yada hi nendriyardheshu na karmashvanusajjate sarva sankalpa samnyasi yoga rudha tadochyate. That's also can be pronounced as yoga rudhastadochyate. Yoga rudha tadochyate. A person is said to be a yoga rudha when na anusajjate, he or she has not any interest indriyardheshu, in the sensory objects, karmasu, nor in actions. Nor in actions means nor in actions performed to appropriate those objects. Sarva sankalpa samnyasi, a samnyasi who has renounced all sankalpas. Yoga rudhastadochyate, such a person is called yoga rudha. So, to become a yoga rudha, you must be a karma yogi without indulging in actions to fulfill unrequired desires. So you stop, you perform actions to the required extent only. Yoga helps us to get real peace in the life of tension and struggle. Many people work hard in pursuit of, extra pleasures. They are greedy, they want to possess more. That is creating the tension and struggle. It will be noted that when we say renunciation, it is defined as unattachment. Both this renunciation and unattachment, both these terms must be understood in depth. Renunciation has nothing at all to do with giving up possessions, as usually understood. Even one with no possessions has no renounced them. if mentally he still identified himself with them. So we have to understand this correct meaning of renunciation and unattachment. A great message is conveyed in the sloka number 5. The message can be conveyed by every father to their children. That is, it also says what should a sadhaka do. Uddharedatmanatmanam na atmanam avasadayet atmaiva hyatmano bandhuhu atmaiva ripuratmanaha. Let a man raise himself by his own self. Don't let oneself fall down. Uddhared atmanatmanam. We have to elevate ourselves. Every individual has to elevate himself by his own self. We should not allow ourselves to fall down. We alone are our own friend. We alone are our own enemies. Atmaiva hyatmano bandhuhu. Bandhu means here friend. Atmaiva ripuratmanaha. Ripu means enemy. Means one is oneself responsible for one's success or failure. The contributions that others make in these respects are secondary. We have to understand like this. This has to be taught to the children by every father and mother, because we always complain about the external agencies that are pulling us down. No, it is only your laziness, your inertness, your lack of shraddha that is pulling down. You have to elevate yourself. Uddhared atmanatmanam. Na atmanam avasadayat. Don't allow yourself to fall down. Atmaiva hyatmano bandhuhu. Atmaiva ripuratmanaha. You alone are your own friend. You alone are your own enemy. How shall one choose to be one's true friend? That answer comes in the 6th verse. Bandhuratma atmanastasya enaitma atmanajitaha. Bandhuratma atmanastasya enatmaivatmanajitaha. Anatmanastu sitrutve vartet atmaiva sitruvat. Vartet atmaiva sitruvat. Those who can discipline their inner energies, they become their own friends. So inner energies, atmanastasya. Every child must be taught this principle in order to give them innate strength. But to him who has not subdued the self, his own self acts as enemy. Here, self means a mind here. So self has to be understood according to the context. It is the self means your own mind. The scattered mind will pull you down. There are 3 strengths in every human being. Bahubalam, muscular strength. Buddhibalam, the intellectual strength. And Atmabalam, strength coming from Atman through spiritual development. When all these strengths are developed, we can withstand the pressures from outside the world. So for Bahubalam, you have to make some physical exercise. Buddhibalam, we have to read good literature, spiritual books, listen to spiritually enlightened persons. And for Atmabalam, you have to meditate. So all these 3 has to be developed. 3 components have to be developed. What is the good that accrues to a sadhaka through meditation is narrated in the 7th sloka. Its actual technique of meditation starts from this verse. Jitatmanah prasantasya paramatma samahitah sitoshna sukha dukkheshu tatha manavamanayoho. Jitatmanah, of the self-controlled, Jita means winning, Atmana means mind, means who has won over his mind, means who is self-controlled. Prashantasya, of the peaceful, Paramatma, the Supreme Self, Samahitaha, is balanced. Sitoshna sukha dukkheshu, in cold and heat, in pleasure and pain. Tatha, also, similarly, Manapamanayoho, in honor and dishonor. Jitatmanah prashantasya Paramatma samahitaha sitoshna sukha dukkheshu tatha manavamanayoh. The meaning of this verse is, to the self-controlled and peaceful person, the Supreme Self is constant in cold and heat, pleasure and pain, as also in honor and dishonor. Clarity of mind is his who is established in self-control. That's the wonderful message Sri Krishna conveys in this 7th verse. Then the next sloka says, Jnana vijnana truptatma kutastho vijitendriyah yukta ityuchyate yogi samalostasmya kamchanaha. Yuktaha means well established in yoga. How? Jnana vijnana truptatma, satisfied with knowledge and wisdom. Jnana, the contextual meaning here is to understanding things, knowing about them, that is jnana. Vijnana is experiencing the truth contained in the study. So, jnana is conceptual theory, vijnana is practical application. We have to understand that way. Jnana vijnana truptatma, he is satisfied with that. Kutasthaha, kutastha means always steady, unshaken. Vijitendriyaha, such a person who has controlled the senses, yukta iti uchyate, is called yukta. Yukta means well established in yoga. For such a person, samalostasmya kanchanaha, a lump of earth, a piece of stone, and a gold are the same. Losta means mud. Asma means stones. A piece of stone is called asma. Kanchana means gold. Sama, they're equal. That yogi is kutastha or steady, who is satisfied with knowledge and wisdom, who has conquered the senses, to whom a lump of earth, a piece of stone, and gold are the same, is called as yukta, means who is established in yoga or steadfast. So, Sri Krishna is portraying the picture of a yoga rudha. It may look irrelevant at this stage of life, but that is the pinnacle or zenith a human being can reach, where he become a kutastha, unmoved. Here comes, how does yogi view people of varying nature or status in the 9th sloka. Suhrun mitrar yudasina madhyastadveshya bandhushu sadhushvapi cha papeshu samabuddhir visishyate. Such a yoga rudha, how he views Suhrun mitrar yudasina madhyastad dveshva bandhushu. Suhrut means in the good-hearted, in the well-wishers, in friends, in enemies. Madhyastha in neutrals or arbiters. Dveshya, hateful persons. Bandhushu in the relatives. Sadhushvapi in saints. Sadhushvapi cha papeshu in sinners. Means samabuddhir visishyate, the equanimous vision he attains, and that is excellent, he says. Samabuddhir visishyate. Visishyate means attaining excellence. This samabuddhi tattva has to be developed to become a perfect yogi. In fact, this samabuddhi is a highly acclaimed dimension in the Bhagavad Gita. It is reiterated several times in chapter 2, in chapter 5. We are going to see it in chapter 12, 14 and 13 also. So, samabuddhir visishyate. The view of yogi towards people is mentioned here in the 9th sloka. Now, what is the self-preparation that one ought to cultivate to attain this samabuddhi? That process is presented now in the 10th sloka. Yogi yumjita satatam atmanam rahasi sthitah ekaki yata chittatma nirasira parigraha. The technique of attaining yogihood rather, is mentioned from 10th sloka onwards. Yogi yunjita satatam atmanam. Yes, the yogi has to practice concentration of the mind, satatam, constantly. The efforts must be continuous. Yumjita means practicing yoga. Yogi yumjita satatam atmanam. Yogi has to practice concentration of the mind on constant basis, where rahasi sthitaha, remaining in a secluded place, in solitude, ekaki, alone, yata chittatma, one with the body and the mind controlled. Yata, one who has yata is called yati. You have to understand. Out of yata comes yati. Yata means disciplined. So, yati means one who has disciplined the mind. Ekaki yata chittatma nirasira parigraha, free from wasteful desires, unwanted desires, and free from greed, aparigraha. Even in Yoga Sutra of Patanjali, it's mentioned that that word nirasi aparigraha. So the sadhaka should feel, I am in search of something higher than the transient sensual pleasures. That should be his attitude. I am in a search of something higher. That must be the attitude. So now in the 6th chapter from 10th sloka onwards, the technique of meditation, how it has to be done is elaborately given by Lord Krishna. Yogi yunjita satatam atmanam rahasi sthitah ekakiyata chittatma nirasila parigraha. With this, we conclude the first episode of the 6th chapter, named as Dhyana Yoga. This is a very important chapter in Bhagavad Gita, but in the earlier sloka, in the earlier chapters or in the forthcoming chapters, Lord Krishna says, you become a yogi, yogi bhavati kaschana, yogi, you become yogi. But how to become yogi, that process is given in the 6th chapter. So for a seekers, for the sadhakas, this is 6th chapter. If you go through every sloka and absorb that knowledge and implement, incorporate in the daily routine, practicing it, we can achieve higher levels of realization. With this, we conclude the first episode of the 6th chapter. Sarvam Sri Krishnarpanamastu.